This is Saurabh, and you're listening to my favorite talk show, the Weekly Show with Aditya.
This is episode 216 on the 3rd of June 2020. Necessity is the mother of all invention, and it has become true in the context of education in terms of classes and lectures being conducted in universities and schools with respect to shifting from the brick and mortar style of education to this new revolution called online lectures and classes, that is online education. But it has to be understood that this new method will fall flat if the brick and mortar style of classroom teaching is carried forward, where the teachers come and drone on for 40 minutes without any real change in the students' knowledge core. What are we trying to do? Is online education useful for the student? If one looks from the student's point of view, there is but no change. All they are doing is that they are sitting in front of the computer and still listening to the teacher droning on for 40 minutes. Is there any real change to the student's knowledge core? I think not. This excitement about shifting to online and digital classes and the idea of tapping into the digital potential of the country all over the world, of countries all over the world, might be a false notion if students are not in control. Not just about bridging a yawning digital divide or creating a more robust infrastructure, new learning modules, and more. It is more about the students being in control. The teacher has always played the role of a facilitator. The teacher is not supposed to drone on about 40 minutes and then the students just listen passively. The teacher speaks, one class is over or one subject is over, then the next teacher logs in. They drone on about 40 minutes. They do the effort of presentations and other such things where the students are only spoon fed. Let's understand this idea of spoon feeding. For me, there is no change from the brick and mortar style of teachers feeding students about the subject or through the use of online devices. How a teacher conducts a class: holds a live class on various video conferencing platforms or various applications. Students and teachers engage in direct communication. Or the teacher records a lecture in audio or video format and uploads on the public platforms or transmits it via email or other messaging platforms. The teacher can also send text, reading material, assignments, or test papers via these mediums. So my question is, in this entire exercise, what are the students doing? In one word, nothing. They are being spoon fed. The teacher does all the work. Students just lap it up, they mug it up, and then they put it on the paper or through other mediums for examinations. There is no change in the system of education. This change which we see in terms of online education, it's a charade, it's a mask. Wouldn't it be better if the teacher tells the students we are going to discuss chapter X? So every student prepares a 5-minute presentation, be it audio or video format. The other students will listen. The students not engaged in conduct of those audio and video formats will listen, they will ask questions, and then this will be a healthy discussion. Otherwise, this excitement about online education will be a charade, will be a mask. Since online education has become a rage all over the world, especially in India, and this excitement about using various digital platforms to send lectures, video presentations, audio presentations is becoming this new exciting trend, is something that is a novel idea. So a few edutech companies also take advantage of this, but for me it is still spoon fed. Students are being told that this is the only way we can understand a concept, be it in history, geography, mathematics, science, physics, or whatever other subject. Then where is the contribution of the student? They are but passive learners. They have no contribution to this. So I don't see this as an exciting trend unless the students contribute. That would be the way the 22nd century and the times beyond will work. Online education alone cannot work if it's only about the teachers. Various edutech companies provide high quality interactive study material rich in video and graphics, helping students understand concepts easily. According to an article, How Do Online Classes Help? Allow innovative methods of teaching with the help of technology, enable students to learn at their own pace, allow them to access the best content prepared by the best teachers, extend reach to a large number of students at the same time, relieve peer pressure because of the anonymity of virtual world resulting in a stress-free learning environment, more cost effective than a regular on campus degree. Let's take a deep dive into each of these concepts. Allow innovative methods of teaching with the help of technology. Well, that is relative. Even if we want, we can do the same in the brick and mortar style of learning if we had allowed the blend of online and offline style of education. This is still possible in the brick and mortar style. The second point was enable students to learn at their own pace. It's once again relative. That depends what is the pace the students want to learn at. Allow them to access the best content prepared by the best teachers. Well, this is not the way it should be done. It is the students who should prepare the content and discuss with their fellow peers. Let me tell you, there is no relieving of peer pressure. As someone who has been a part of such online content and online meetings, the peer pressure is at an equal level as compared to the brick and mortar style of meetings or classes. Let's look at this new term, stress-free learning. Stress-free learning would happen if the students are allowed to be a part of the online learning. If it's the teacher who prepared the content, if the teachers tell us which assignment is to be done, when is it to be submitted, if the teachers evaluate the assignments, then there is no stress-free learning, because be it brick and mortar or the online system, teachers will always have some kind of a bias towards a certain student, even if it's in the virtual world. So, if there has to be a wholesome change, then the biggest change is the students prepare the content, they present the content is evaluated by their fellow classmates, and then they all discuss a particular topic, and this way they will be learning. The pressures of syllabus will also be reduced. Let's understand this. The teacher has an X way of understanding a subject. Not all students will understand that subject or that topic in the same manner. So there is no point in forcing one idea on a group of students. But if we allow every student to present the same subject in different manners, then everybody will learn something new. They will be learning for the teachers, the students, and the entire class overall will have a good time understanding the concepts instead of being forced with presentations and interactive lectures and interactive videos. But if we stay with the fact that the teachers have to do all the work and the students are just sheep, they listen to the teacher's lecture who drones on about 40 minutes, be it through using presentations, videos, and other interactive methods, then there is no change from the brick and mortar style. According to this article, even in a digital class, it is the teacher who makes all the difference. Yes, the teacher will make all the difference, but not as a lecturer or a teacher, but as a moderator. In addition to tech interventions, teachers need to be massively retrained and oriented toward online teaching and learning. This is looking at this entire thing of online education through rose colored glasses. This article further goes on to say that the content of online classes rests on the faculty. Even during a Zoom call, it depends on the teacher to draw the students' attention. This is a regressive view of understanding of the change from the brick and mortar style to the classroom online education style. If it's all on the teacher, then for me there has been no change as far as the education system is concerned. If it's the role of the teacher to draw the students' attention, then the students will never pay attention. But if, as I have repeated, if the students are in control of the lecture, they know what they will talk about, they are given a 5 to 10 minute opportunity to present their ideas during the class, then they will be attentive, they will work. But if it's a teacher who drones on about, if it's the job of the teacher or the task of the teacher to draw the students' attention, students may not want to be attentive because they may not see that subject from the point of view of what the teacher understands. Then it's a subjective understanding of what online teaching means. There is no change from the brick and mortar style. This is the idea of online education. Then where is the difference between shifting to online education in comparison to the brick and mortar style of classroom teaching? Where is the difference? According to me, there is no difference. The only minor difference is that students are not going to school, they are not sitting in a real classroom. All they are doing is sitting in front of a computer, and still it's the same idea that rolls on. If this is the digital literacy one is talking about, then for me there is no change. This change won't come about till we are limited to a time bound and a syllabus style of education. It has to change. It has to be a wholesome change rather than keeping up with this notion that with the shift to online education, we are becoming tech savvy. The gross enrollment ratio will increase because now this computer will penetrate into the rural areas of different countries where universities are not located. Even if that does happen, if the style of teaching, if the idea of lecture doesn't change, then I don't see any wholesome change in the education system. For me, there is no change. So, what would be the real change? The real change would be if students take control of their own teaching style. The teacher should only act as a moderator, means the teacher should ensure that every student gets a chance to showcase their presentation skills, their research skills, their listening skills, their communication skills in the class. And how will this happen? Well, there is a two-pronged strategy to this. The human mind's limited understanding of quantity and quality education cannot be limited to just classes shifting to online education or teachers coming up with presentations or showing lectures on the computer through animation and other such processes. This has to be taken over by the student. And as I said, there is a two-pronged strategy to this. So let's discuss what could be the two-pronged strategy. Before we get into the details of the two-pronged strategy, let me read you this paragraph which will set up the context for the paradigm shift from brick and mortar classrooms to online classrooms and what are the changes that are needed. What could be the one big change between the brick and mortar style of classrooms versus the online classrooms? The current disruption in the education sector will lead to a paradigm shift in the learning process. This will bring about more transparency and address the delivery of quality education on a large scale while ensuring inclusive e-learning. Let's look at this keyword, inclusive e-learning, which for me and according to this article has a very narrow definition. This myopic approach and the definition of digital literacy, if it's all about including more and more students, especially from the rural areas where good colleges and universities are not located, and it's about them having access to the broadband connection so that they can have access to quality learning. Is that the definition of digital literacy? This is the dream of the administrations. Then this dream is a fallacy. There would be no difference between the brick and mortar style of classroom learning or the digital style of classroom learning if the teacher drones on for 40 minutes and then the students have to mug up the lecture or the chapter as the teacher will take a test in the next class. Then the question is straightforward. Where is the learning? Where is the addition to the knowledge base of the student? It's a straightforward answer. There is no addition to the student's knowledge base because it's the teacher who does all the work of making the presentations, making sure that the class attends to what the teacher has to say, and then the examinations are held, and that's the end of that subject for 40 minutes. Then this whole gar about paradigm shift, inclusive e-learning, digital classroom, students logging in from their homes, not having to trek hundreds of kilometers to go to their universities and colleges, so that that time can be saved. But then the 6 hours at 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. time spent in the classroom is also a waste if they are eventually passive learners. So, as I said, I had developed a two-pronged strategy to overcome this passive learning by the students. What could be the best strategies? As I said, teachers will become moderators. They will not go through the efforts of making presentations or developing notes for the students. The students will have to develop those things themselves. Is this a possibility in a world, in an education system around the world, where students, schools, teachers are bound by syllabus and time, where they have to finish syllabus so that they can move on to the next class, so that even if there is 1% learning from the class they were a part of, all they had to do was attend lectures, prepare assignments, do the assignments, get evaluated by the teachers, and that's the end of that. Then I find this entire exercise nothing more than a charade. Let me read this article and it will accentuate what I am talking about. There are opportunities for universities to leverage the internet and offer an anytime, anywhere, anyone model of higher education. The real challenge will be for professional courses like medicine, nursing, and engineering. This article is itself biased in this very paragraph. It says that professional courses like engineering, nursing, and medicine. So, what are the other courses? Unprofessional, are they not included in this? This whole divide itself is very diabolical, and this whole idea of anywhere, anytime, anyone model, well, unless the student is in control, the student knows they have learned something during those 40 to 45 minutes of lecture. This entire idea of leveraging the internet or these premier institutions or IOEs, the Institute of Eminence, all this effort will fall flat. As I have reiterated, the teacher should only become a moderator. How is this possible? For example, since the world is syllabus bound and time bound, and there is pressure on the teachers to finish the particular chapter or the particular subject for the particular exam which is due to take place in the next couple of months. The only way the student or the learner goes beyond the ubiquitous nature of giving exams for exam's sake is that they read the chapter, prepare a presentation, then using the technologies available during the e-learning, the digital learning lectures, they present that to the class. What can be done is that each student is given one chapter to research on. They research on that chapter, they do their work, they read books, they go online, do their research, read, make a good presentation or write a speech on the same. Their understanding of that chapter, it doesn't have to be same for all the students. Three students, three different viewpoints of the same chapter, even if it means that three different students will interpret Einstein's theory of relativity in a different manner, so be it. Three students, three different interpretations, and then three more students will ask them questions, evaluate them, and this will allow the students to have a healthy discussion. And in all this, what role does the teacher play? They only play the role of a moderator. They make sure that the planned lecture of three students speaking on one topic, they all get a chance and everybody else gets a chance to evaluate them and question them on that subject. This will make sure that there is learning, students are integrally involved in that subject, and they are not just being spoon fed by the teacher. Otherwise, for me, this blind reverence for technology is meaningless, it's classless, it has no uniformity. If it's all about a teacher droning on about 40 minutes, and even if we replace a teacher with the artificial intelligence, there would be no real change, nothing added to the students or the learnees' knowledge base. One of the best ways to have a revolutionary style of teaching, to take advantage of this online style where there are no geographical boundaries, is reducing the time limit for the teacher's lecture or what the teacher is presenting. The teacher can make a generic presentation, and then at the end of that, students can ask questions, and then the teacher can tell the students that your assignment is you will write more about this topic, or we will divide this entire chapter into three parts. So if there are 30 students in the class, 10 students will work on one topic, the other 10 on part B of that topic, and the last 10 on part C. And then every week we are going to have presentations in groups of three. So even if it takes 10 weeks, that is 3 months, as long as the subject, as long as the topic is properly understood by the students, they know they have got something out of it, they have learned something, that will be a better change in the student. Instead of forcing upon examination on the students, examinations are not the solution. Presentation, assignments, communication skills, listening skills is more important rather than just writing examination for examination sake. Online education will not solve the problem of a cheat proof examination. Even if we have a system where there is a cheat proof examination, that is where the students are not able to cheat. The computer, the virtual invigilator is tracking the students' movement to see if they are not opening other documents. If there is an invigilator, then it's a simple message that students are not to be trusted. Then why force examinations upon them? Let them bring out presentation, and let's not mark everything. Marking and evaluation should be the last thing on the teacher's mind. On their mind, it should be, has the student learned something? Have they worked hard to make a presentation? Will this help them in the coming years? If that's the message the teacher wants to bring out, if that's the message the various education authorities wants to bring out, then there will be wholesome change in the education system, not just a partial transformation from the brick and mortar style of education to the online style of teachers droning on for 40 minutes or more and students being spoon fed. This ends episode number 216 on the 3rd of June 2020.
For more awesome content, tune in to the next episode of the weekly show with Aditya.